What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to talk about pretty much like my top 5 favorite. Oh, hold on. There you go. Pretty much I wanted to talk about pretty much my top 5 favorite Hondas ever made. From early 90s to from the whole list ever created. To be honest, I have 5. And I thought this would be a pretty cool subject to talk about. That way you guys get to know me a little bit better. Like, yes, I know I drive a Honda, you know, like, but there have been other cars that have motivated me to like want to keep it and like get it in the first place and whatnot. I want to talk about my top 5 of all time that I loved from history. Between all the Hondas and Acuras, because Honda, Acura, you know what I mean. So the ones that I'm going to be listing, these are just my opinion to the top 5 that I really think are the best, that from interior to performance to handling and blah blah blah. 3 of these I've been able to drive. 2 of them, one of them I've been able to do a ride along, and one of them I've only been able to sit in. So these are not in any particular order. This is just what I personally think, what I think is the best. And I'm not going to put my 8th gen in there because it is one of my favorites. But it is one of my favorites, but I didn't want to put it there just because I drive one. So full disclosure, I know there's probably better ones. I know I probably don't know what I'm talking about. But this is just for my opinion, for my ideas, and the way I see it from my perspective. That way you guys don't take anything the wrong way. So I know it's all an opinion, you know, we can talk about it more in the comment section. So starting off with number 1, and you guys are gonna flame me. So I got my laptop right here and I got my phone right here because I just write everything down. By the way, all these cars I've talked about in the channel, so you guys can kind of tell that I am a fan of these. Hey, so gonna go off with number 1 on my list. I'm gonna say the Honda Civic Type R, the FK8. I'm a huge fan of the Honda Civic Type R. I like that it's able to compete, and we're just talking stock form. I'm not talking about how much you can put into, and this goes for any of the cars on this list. Stock for stock, this car keeps up with like the Evo, the Ford Focus RS, the STI, the the Golf R, all in that same category, either saying it's a hot hatch or all-wheel drive or front, like I know it's front-wheel drive, but the fact that this front-wheel drive machine can keep up with those all-wheel drives, either in a straight line or around the track, is pretty good, you know. And interior-wise, like I was able to sit in this in the LA Auto Show, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and every time I sat in this car, I fell in love, and I've always wanted one, you know. But and it's funny because yes, there's a lot of other cars you can get for that money. I feel like the people that complain about it being too much are the ones that have never had one, and the people that are obviously paying for it or bought it straight out are the ones that love every minute of it, you know. So I'm not even talking about pricing. I'm just talking about like how it looked, and I actually was able to get a ride along on this car. That was texting me. I was able to get a ride along on this car, and it was in stock form, and it was really good. Like it put a smile to my face, and I hate to say it, but it made me forget about my 8th gen. And as soon as I got to my car, I sat in my car, and I'm just like, damn, dude, like it just came a long way, you know. So from 8th generation to 10th generation. So it's part of the 10th gen Honda Civics. So it's a good car. A lot of people don't like the boyish, race car-ish look, but I personally love how it looks stock. From the wing to the front to the curves that it has, the angles, and everything that I like about that. And this car, I haven't been able to test drive it, but like I said before, I was able to do a ride along, and it's pretty good. If you guys ever have the chance to do it, I highly recommend doing it. Gotham, are you okay? But yeah, that's number 1 right there. That's from the list. That's number 1 from the list. Number 2, this one as corny as it sounds, this car has a special place for me because this is what got me into the Honda game. I say it like that, Honda game. It's the Honda S2000. Now, this car is tiny, you know, and like for somebody my size, I'm not even that tall, I'm 5'8", but I'm a pretty big guy, I'm wide, you know, and sitting down, getting in and out is a lot harder than being comfortable in that car. Like I can sit in that car comfortably, but getting in and out, whew, I don't even want to talk about that. But that car, I really have a special place for that car because my friend Kevin has a red S2000, and ever since he got it, he did just simple bolt-ons, and I think that's the first time I experienced a really loud car because I think he had like a 3-inch straight. I forgot what exhaust it was. I want to say it was a Tomei. I'm not sure. So, but it was a red one. It was an AP1. And I learned how to drive stick in that car. That was the car that got me into cars, as a matter of fact. It was because of him. Before that, I was into trucks, and I was into like lower trucks with like big wheels and huge sound systems, you know, like the typical Vario way. So I was into that shit, and I was into that. And it wasn't until I got into that I keep saying Honda Civic, the Honda S2000, I fell in love with VTEC. I fell in love with how it sounded, how the gearings were. And don't get me wrong, like he still is a good friend of mine. I've probably had his car maybe once or twice in the channel. He was the one that helped me put on my front and rear sway bars to my car and my Skunk 2 cold air intake with the whole battery relocator and whatnot. That car, just every time he says, you want to drive it, I say yes. I don't even hesitate. Dude, like, and there was 2 of them. He has the AP1, but I'm a bigger fan of the AP2. I like how the AP2 has a little bit more torque, and it's also a 2.2 liter. His car was the first time I was ever able to experience 9,000 RPM redline. And just hearing it scream all the way past 6,000 to 7 to 8 and then hitting 9, I was just like, dude, like, I need something like this. Like, this is something that I always wanted. Hopefully in the future I can get one. Like that is a for sure thing that I want to do, check off my bucket list, just to say I had one. I might not keep it forever, but I want to, like, I'm getting too excited. But I've had my eye more on the AP2 because slightly bigger displacement, has a little bit more torque, a little bit more horsepower, and it does rev to about 8,000 RPM, 8,200. I'm just looking at like different things because I've read about it, and a lot of people say if like it's the aesthetics, I want to say I said that right, suspension, gearing, and the rev limiter, like the 4 major differences between the AP1 and AP2. But dude, like, I'd be happy with either or, but I would look for an AP2 more than anything else. And that's like, again, one of the cars that I've learned how to drive stick in, and that's what actually got me into the Honda game. And when I see my 8th gen, I just think of it like a poor man S2K, you know, so. And although the Honda S2000 isn't the fastest car in the world, but it was one car that made me feel like speed wasn't even a necessity because of how fun it was to drive. So again, hopefully one of these days I can pick one up. The next one on the list, it is the Honda Prelude 4th generation. I know you can get an EM1 that will compete a lot better with it. I've driven the EM1 and I've been able to drive the Honda Civic, the Honda Prelude SI with the H22 engine, I want to say. I know the EM1 has the famous 1.6 B16 engine in it, and it's a classic. Like, I want to say that's probably the most popular, maybe, you know, like easiest car to work on, to learn, and all the other stuff. But I have a friend that had a Prelude. I always got ride-alongs in that car, and he did just simple stuff. He wasn't even into racing. He was more into like just taking canyons and whatnot. And something about the body style of it from the 90s is probably one of my favorite ones, especially from it being a front-wheel drive car. I liked how the interior had a little bit of futuristic in it. Sometimes I even say to myself that the Honda Prelude had some kind of influence to the S2K on how it has a digital cluster and whatnot, and it was really eye-appealing to me, you know. Then he upgraded to the to the SI. I think it was the VTEC one, because he said it was like one of the top of the line ones for it, and it took forever for him to find that. And it was, yeah, 1995 Honda Prelude VTEC, and I have to pick that one. It's just what it is, man. It's just what it is. So the next one, this is actually going to be an Acura. Again, I've talked about this car a couple times, man. Will I ever get one? Probably not. But I have driven one, and I didn't get to drive the 6-speed manual one. I was only able to drive the 5-speed auto. I think it was a 5-speed. And it was in 2007 Acura TL Type S or 2006, around right there. But anyways, the TL Type S, I talked about it a couple times. I like how it's a 6-cylinder and it comes with VTEC, and it has like 260-ish horsepower. 286, my bad. And it's heavy. You know, I was able, like, going in from an S2K, driving an S2K, it's a completely different machine. I was able to drive that one, and I was also able to sit right along. And it's funny because driving from the S2000 and then jumping into that car, huge weight difference, you know? Obviously, one's a family sedan and one's a sports car. It's fun, you know? Like in the freeway, you were just push on the gas and it gets up and goes, you know, uphill without any problem. I feel like that would be a pretty cool, like, little family wagon, little family sedan to have, you know. But that car, it was probably one of my favorite weird ones. I never thought I would ever like that car, you know. But the Acura TL Type S, like, it sucks that they stopped producing the Type S in the Acura line. And I know they're going to be bringing it back. I want to say it was a TSX, TLX. There's a concept one coming out soon, and I'm really curious on how Acura is going to move forward with that. But, dude, something about that car, just, I like how it's quad tips from factory. I like how it sounds from factory. I like how VTEC sounds, because it sounds like, obviously it's VTEC, but it sounds more throatier because it's a bigger engine. A friend of a friend was who I met it from, and he said he wasn't going to keep it forever because he specifically wanted the 6-speed manual. I did lose touch with this guy. I don't even have his number anymore. I could probably look him up on social media, but he was looking for a 6-speed manual, and then he just settled with that one in the meantime. So he fixed it up, did the simple bolt-ons and whatnot. So whenever he found the car, he was going to take everything off and swap it over and whatnot. So I don't know if he has one right now. Acura TL Type S, that's going to be one of my favorite Hondas ever made, you know? Honda, Acura. Now the last one that I'm going to be talking about, guys, and I'm going to say it again, I've talked about this plenty of times. You guys have always asked me what my dream car is and what I plan on having. Planning and doing is completely different. I don't know if I'll ever plan on getting this car. You know, if it comes, it comes. But as far as my dream car, like the #1 dream car that I always wanted and still want, is the Acura NSX. You know, the 90s car, the first generation. I love everything about it. There isn't anything I don't like about this car. The Acura NSX is actually my favorite Honda of all time. I like the engine that it has. I like the interior that it has. This car, I was only able to sit in it. That's it. I wasn't able to ride along. It wasn't a test drive. And the funny thing is, it was at a car meet here. It was back before like all LA takeovers and whatnot. This was even before I even had my Honda. This was when I used to have my TC, you know. But I was still into Hondas, but I decided to go a different route and experiment differently. But so long story short, went to a car meet. This guy had one over there, and I kept looking at it, and he was a really cool guy. I don't even know his name. I didn't get any numbers. I didn't get a social media, nothing. But there was that car, and then there was an R32, and I was looking at as a matter of fact, I was able to look inside the R32, but I was more mesmerized on the NSX. I think my dog's sleeping standing up. He's walking around. And I sat on the passenger side just because, you know, he was like, yo, you want to sit in it? You look like you're really into it. I'm like, you know what, like, please, you know, I didn't want to just assume and whatnot. So I was looking at it, and it was stock. Like, he didn't do anything to it other than, I want to say, wheels. I don't even remember what wheels it was, but he said he didn't lower it. He says he hasn't touched the exhaust. He said he was trying to be conservative with it and preserve its genuine look, if that makes sense. At least that's what he said. And I can see why, you know, that car appreciated so much. Their value shot up, you know, so, and just everything about that car, I don't see any cons. I'm sure there is, but I don't see any flaws from that car. Like, that is my dream car that I've always wanted, that I still want to this day. Will I get one? Not now, because I mean, first I need a garage. I'm not gonna park that on the street. And just something about that car, like I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I'm freaking drooling over it right now. We're talking, and it's not even here. So the Acura NSX is one of my favorite ones ever made. And it's funny because when I sat in it, I like dropped down because I didn't expect the low center of gravity that I had in that car. You know, you're like, your ass is touching the floor practically. Acura NSX, that's like my favorite Honda. That's like my favorite Honda, like, ever, you know. So I know this list was a little everywhere, from the FK8 to the NSX to the Prelude. But what was it? You know, FK8, Prelude, TL Type S, S2K, NSX. Those are my favorite Hondas ever made, you know. Yes, there's a lot better ones, and pricing and power and comfort and blah 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 from Honda to Acura of all time, but this was just my opinion. I didn't want to throw the 8th gen in there because I drive that car, so I didn't want to be a little play favoritism to it, you know. And I've already talked about that car plenty of times. So those 5 cars right there, my favorite ones of all time. When it happens, you know, and it's gonna be fun. So, but let me know what you guys think. I know this video was just me talking, you know, but it's been a while, and I told myself to stop being lazy, to get out and do more, you know. Like, I don't want to use work as an excuse anymore. If I have the chance to do it, or to vlog, or to do something, I'm gonna take action and I'm gonna do it, you know. So I'm gonna try to hit 2020 a little differently, not just for this, but for myself, because I'm trying to make a huge change in my life. So let's talk in the comment section. I am there. I do read it. Sometimes I don't reply. And this video did come up because a lot of people were talking about what I thought about it and what got me into it and blah 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 and everything else. So there you go, my favorite Hondas of all time. And I know a lot of you guys are like, hey, when are you gonna drive with your sister again? You know what, we're just busy. You know, I had today off, so I was trying to hit her up, but she has to unfortunately go to work. She did finally get her car. I'm really happy for her. She is growing up and everything. I do want to do another video with my dad, but this fool lives in Arizona, you know, so whenever he comes down, Pops, I know you watch these videos, so we'll do another video like that, and I'll take you around and show you how I really drive it. What else? And yeah, if there's any other ideas or any other like things you guys want to talk about, want me to look into so we can talk and make a video, by all means, man. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're about to hit 13,000. Let's not slow down. Let's keep it going. Hit that like button. It really does help me out with the whole YouTube algorithm. And yeah, let's get it going. Gotham the Pug is alive, guys. Don't worry. He's fine. He's not going anywhere. Oh yeah, check this out. You guys seen it on my Snap and Instagram? These are really dope. All the, like, Hector gave me that, so that was dope. Hey, look, it's me and my girlfriend. But check it out. Like, I'm trying to get another one, and then I got this one right here. Where, let me see. Like, I still need to take it out. I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan. You guys already know that. My girl likes Legos and Pops. And we just started. She has a lot more Legos around, but we just started like placing them up, and she goes, you know what, you can buy the car parts you want, I'll buy all the Legos I want. And I'm like, deal. So and Pops,
there's about 2 more rows behind these ones. So like if I pull one out, there's another one back there and another one behind that one. But yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. I'll see you guys in another video. You guys have a good day. Peace.